After spending his 66th birthday under police questioning, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor shrinking from the spotlight. The King's brother sinking to a new low after being arrested at his new home on Sandringham estate in Norfolk.
I think he's got to answer his accusers. You know, he shouldn't be hiding behind the royal family.
Thames Valley Police released him after about 10 hours and searching 2 royal residences. Part of their investigation over allegations Andrew shared confidential government information with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein while trade envoy between 2001 and 2011. Neither the King or Palace had been warned ahead of the arrest. This email came to light in the latest drop of the Epstein files, in which then trade envoy Andrew appears to have forwarded on a confidential report to Epstein.
My biggest thing with what's going on is the sadness and the disappointment the Queen must have felt, because this was all going on before she died.
The arrest of Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is unprecedented in modern times. The crisis has dogged the monarchy for years, outliving the former prince's mother, Queen Elizabeth. King Charles, for his part, has been determined to tackle his brother's downfall head-on and show the public he'll no longer be hiding behind his privilege. The King saying in a statement, "I have learned with the deepest concern the news about Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and suspicion of misconduct in public office. Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." The King and Queen continued with engagements, appearing in public hours after Andrew's arrest.
What's your reaction to your brother's arrest, sir?
Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer earlier saying nobody is above the law.
It's a very important principle of our country, our society, and it applies, and it has to apply in this case in the same way as it would apply in any other case.
It's quite an extraordinary fall from grace, I must say, from someone who had such an esteemed position.
For now, it will be hard for the royal family to carry on, as the King's brother remains under investigation. This is a notoriously difficult charge to prove. No MP has ever been prosecuted for a misconduct in public office charge, and Andrew has always denied any wrongdoing. Police must also show that the alleged was potentially profiteering from the information shared. So this essentially boils down to a person who was doing a job on behalf of the British public, doing something seriously wrong and knowingly doing that. The prosecution must prove 4 key elements: that a public officer was misusing their position or engaging in misconduct, and they were doing that knowingly. Now, we don't yet know if Andrew will be charged. This investigation is very much in its infancy, but it is a serious allegation. And if convicted, it can come with life in prison.
You've been on his private plane?
Yes.
It was the beginning of the end for Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, the former prince saying on the record he ended a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein in 2010.
After I was aware that he was under investigation.
Only for emails to emerge pointing to the contrary. Then, photos released in a tranche of Epstein files raised more questions about Andrew's relationship to the convicted sex offender. The former prince's most prominent accuser, the late Virginia Roberts Giuffre, claimed Epstein trafficked her to Andrew for sex when she was a teenager.
And there's only one of us telling the truth, and I know that's me.
Andrew has always denied the allegations and settled a civil suit with Giuffre several years ago, paying what some estimate was up to $14 million. Although his arrest today was not related to her case, Giuffre's family was jubilant.
He hasn't been charged or anything, so we understand that. But The fact that there was an acknowledgement of some sort of justice with him was really a moment of vindication for her.
Mounting public pressure saw the king strip his brother of his royal titles last year and force him out of the royal lodge. But Andrew is still 8th in line to the throne, and there are calls for him to be removed from the line of succession. The palace has been careful to distance itself from Andrew as US politicians petition him to testify in their Epstein investigation.
There can be consequences for people, even if they're royalty.
And so I'm carrying on.
Today's events surprised even the journalist who grilled Andrew in that now infamous interview.
Honestly, I am stunned. I just have to say this doesn't happen in our country. It is virtually unheard of. To say that this is a crisis moment, I think doesn't begin to cover it.
A crisis that's now reached the highest realms. Bridget Rollason, ABC News, London.